We have done this bias tapes in stained glass for a long time. Not only the straight lines like this, you can do the curves and circles, anything you want. To tell you the truth, we haven't pieced those segments of the fabrics. So let's find out all the secrets of how to use a bias tape stained glass step by step. After watching this, you have no room for mistakes. So let's use this mini wall hanging pattern which contains lots of curves, which is perfect for this project. So first of all, you need to have one side fusible waddings and also placing the adhesive side facing up. So you can trace your patterns onto your fusible waddings. So make sure your lines are all thick, and also using a pen tracing the patterns onto your fusible wadding. On your pattern, one of the most important things is put the numbers on. If you don't put the numbers on, do you know what's going to happen? You're going to jigsaw puzzle all night long. Like, you don't want that to happen. So please make sure you put the numbers. Numbers are also important because you're going to place the fabrics in that order. So like 2 is over 1, 3 is over 2, overlapping 2 mils. We also put red lines along the outer edges because outer edges need 1 cm seam allowances, inner edges only need 2 to 3 mil seam allowances. It's very easy to see where you need 1 cm seam allowances and also where you need only 2 to 3 mil seam allowances. For the inner edges, you need only 3 mil seam allowances just to overlap each other. That is how to cut the 2 to 3 mil seam allowances for the inner edges, because they only need to overlap to each other. Please cut all the fabrics before you proceed to the next step. Now placing the fabrics starting from number 1 to 4. Up to number 4 you don't have to think of anything, just placing fabrics 3 mils overlapping to each other. When you're placing number 5, you need to be mindful about the position of placing number 5. So when you have looked very carefully, this intersects mid so that all the raw edges runs really smoothly. So number 5 needs to be placed there. For example, you can't place number 5 like this because like a raw edge is not running smooth. So that tells you exactly where to put the number 5. So the fabric number 6 onwards, please use the same rules. Make sure to cover all the segments of the waddings with all the fabric pieces. Please make sure you're happy with the placement of all your fabrics and make sure all the raw edges run smoothly. Fuse your fabrics with a medium dry iron onto fusible waddings. Our fusible bias tape is amazing because it's already pre-made. Adhesive is already attached on the back. So all you have to do is place your bias tapes to cover up the raw edge and iron it on. Fuse bias tapes horizontally starting from top to bottom. Cover up all the raw edges with the bias tapes. Then move over to the vertical line starting from the left to right. Make sure to cover all the raw edges with the bias tapes before you move on to the next step. Here comes another fantastic ninja sewing tools, which is 4 mil wide twin needles. Those twin needles are different from what the most people have. This twin needles is 4 mil, which is perfectly holding the both edges of the bias tapes. These twin needles are universal size, so that you can fit into any sewing machines. You don't have to go back and forth, just going once, then you don't have to come back. And because it just fits into the width of the bias tapes, it's very hard to miss. You are literally having a sewing time and you're sewing fast like a ninja. When you're actually stitching up the bias tapes, please make sure to take it easy and then just make sure you're not making mistakes, you're not missing. Because like, if you make mistakes here, it's very hard to undo it. And also that's why it's very important to use the twin needles, because it's very hard to miss. And this is the whole step of how to make a perfect stained glass quilt. Do you think it's easy? It is easy, and also there will be no room for mistakes. So now if you like making one of those, using these bias tapes and twin needles, you can make this. Bias tapes, one roll has got 10 meter, which is enough to make most of the bags available in our shop. Would you like to make our Gothic bag, which was featured by Home Span magazine? Kit has got everything inside, materials, handles, waddings, and everything. And also you can get bias tapes and twin needles at a discount price at the moment.